So, creepypastas have become very popular in recent years. A creepypasta is an urban legend or scary story that circulates around the internet. It's essentially like a scary camp story before the digital age. Just like urban legends, most people write these off as made-up stories, simply created by a creative mind, but there will always be those out there who ask, what if this really happened? Because I have been reading so many creepypastas recently, I thought I would select the freakiest ones to share with you all. So here they are, the 10 freakiest creepypastas ever told. Oh, and if you're watching at night, I dare you to make it to the end. Before we get started, make sure you subscribe to Unearthed Hub and click that notification bell so you don't miss a video. Number 1 is 1999. This story, simply known as 1999, is about a Canadian blogger named Elliot who decides to investigate a low-budget TV show that he used to watch in 1999 that only aired for a few episodes. One episode, called Playing with Scissors, featured live-action hands on a table. The episode dramatically turns dark as one of the hands starts to stab the other hand repeatedly with a pair of scissors, whilst a muffled child's scream can be heard in the background. The next episode, called Mr. Bear Cellar, featured a mentally unstable man who dressed up as a character called Mr. Bear, who did things so disturbing that I can't even mention them here. Eventually the police investigated and shut down the show, but by that time the damage had already been done to anyone that had watched the disturbing episodes in fear. Number 2 is The Rake. In 2006, a team of researchers unearthed nearly 24 documents dating to the 12th century to the present day, describing a creature only known as the Rake. They were filled with various people's encounters with this exact creature. One couple describes their encounter as follows. The couple awoke to discover something sitting at the edge of their bed facing away from them, a creature that looked like half human and half big hairless dog. The creature suddenly sprang up and crouched in front of the husband's face and sprung towards their children's bedrooms. The couple immediately ran after it, but by then it was too late. The couple found their daughter mutilated in close death, with her final words being, "He is the Rake." Remember that one when you go to bed tonight. Number 3 is Where the Bad Kids Go. A photographer decides to research an old children's show that he used to watch as a child in wartime Lebanon. The half-hour show relied on half-hour graphic imagery and scare tactics to keep kids from misbehaving. The closing scene of every episode is a slow zoom to an old, rusted iron door, and as it got closer, screams could be heard coming from the inside, as the text, "That's where the bad kids go," pops up on screen in Arabic. The photographer was able to find the studio where the old show was filmed, and despite being abandoned for a very long time, he was actually able to find the very old rusted door, but he was not prepared for what was on the other side. Upon entering the old door, he found a scary empty room covered in blood, feces and bones, with a caged microphone hanging from the middle of the room. Yep, just another reason to do what your parents say, kids. Number 4 is The Other Watcher. There was once a man who checked into a hotel for a few nights. After getting his key from the woman and the front desk, she mentioned that he will be passing a room with no number and that he should not try to enter the room or even look inside. By the second night, the man was so intrigued and couldn't help but look through the keyhole of the room. What he found was a very pale woman standing in the corner of an empty room. That night he returned to his room. On the third night, he decided to look through the keyhole again, but this time all he saw was the color red, nothing else, just a constant deep shade of red. He then returned to the front desk where the woman had interrogated him, asking if he had looked through the keyhole. The man admitted he did, and the woman sighed, saying that many years ago a man had murdered his wife in that very room and that her ghost now haunts it. Her ghost is said to be very pale except for her eyes, which are bloodshot red. Yeah. Number 5 is The SCP Foundation. The Secure, Contain and Protect Foundation first appeared in 2007 and is made up of various doctors, researchers and agents. Their goal is to understand and catalog abnormal creatures and objects known as SCPs. The SCP website describes the discovery of many disturbing creatures, including one creature known as the SCP-173, or the Sculpture. It's a statue-like creature that has a bloody face and short limbs that must be constantly observed, or it will immediately kill its victim by breaking its neck as soon as eye contact is broken. There are various articles and videos on the internet about the SCP and its creatures, including the Sculpture, but you should only check them out if you're willing to crap yourself. Number 6 is Jeff the Killer. Jeff was a little boy that moved into a new home with his family. One day, 3 teenagers attacked Jeff and his brother, but Jeff defeated them, leaving them in the streets with broken wrists and knife wounds. Unfortunately, that encounter was the moment that Jeff realized that he liked inflicting pain onto others. One night soon after, Jeff's mother heard crying coming from the bathroom of their house. When she entered, she found Jeff carving a permanent smile into his cheeks. He had also cut off his eyelids so that he could avoid sleep. His final words to his mother were, "Mummy, you lies," after which he murdered his entire family and disappeared into the night. Jeff was never seen again, and as legend has it, he is still out there today, looking for his next victim. Now just take a moment to look behind you. Number 7 is, wake up. In the past it has been reported that some victims of torture, during the act, would fall into a fantasy world to which they could not wake up from. In this state, this victim lived in a world just like the normal one, except they were not being tortured. The only way they realized they needed to wake up was through a note that they had found in their fantasy world. It would tell them about their condition and tell them that they need to wake up. Even then, it would often take them months to discard their fantasy world and wake up. Is this your fantasy world? Number 8 is, Slenderman. The Slender Man is a mythical ghoul often depicted as a tall thin figure wearing a black suit and a blank face. The creature can cause insomnia, paranoia and memory loss, and is known to distort photographs and video. It's known for killing children almost exclusively, and if you ever see him, it's already too late. It is rumored to have been alive for centuries and even has mythology dating back to Roman times. There are several games that have risen due to the popular Slender Man story, including Slender the 8 Pages. Feel free to play it at night time with the lights off. I love those reaction videos. Number 9 is, Robert the Doll. Robert the Doll is a real-life doll that many say is cursed. The doll was given to artist Robert Eugene Otto in the late 1800s by a servant working in his family home. The doll, which he named after himself, took on a life of his own and terrorized his family. Disturbingly, Robert kept the doll into his adult life, and it terrorized his wife, leading to insanity. The doll now resides in the 4 East Martello Museum in Key West, Florida. As rumor has it, visitors but as Robert politely if they can take his photo. If they take a picture without asking or they mock him in any way, Robert is said to lay a curse on that person. I have no idea how powerful this doll is, so I'm going to just be polite, but feel free to mock him in the comment section if you're brave enough. Number 10 is, Ben Drowned. This story is about a supposedly haunted copy of the game, The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask for the Nintendo 64. A young man received a suspicious-looking Majora's Mask cartridge from an old man, and upon playing it noticed that there was a saved file called Ben. Upon playing that saved file, all kinds of weird things started happening, including the text in the game displaying incorrectly and the music started playing backwards. The game continued to do all sorts of really bizarre things that alluded to a boy named Ben that drowned, who was now communicating through the game. The game even started to display strange messages like, "You shouldn't have done that, Ben is getting lonely," and "You've met with a terrible fate, haven't you?" After he started to get really freaked out, this started to record the gameplay, and all of the footage is on YouTube. But I warn you, the footage is really freaky and scary, so make sure it doesn't ruin any good memories you have of the game. Now that's it for this episode. If you can't sleep, come watch some more videos or add your scary stories to the comment section. Remember to subscribe so you don't miss all new episodes.